I already have started getting questions from children. Yes, we will be making another activity today. But before that, we will discuss some more related to what we did yesterday. Okay, so there was an assignment given to you all, and I have got quite a lot of responses. So let us quickly go over that. Yes. Let me share my screen. Okay. And the responses that I have got. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Just tell yes, no. Okay. Yeah. So this was the assignment that was given to you yesterday, correct? So the first part of the assignment was to give your own name. So yesterday we talked about 3 types of variables. Something which can change, something gets affected. The thing also changes, but it is affected by the first one. And then rest of all the variables which are kept constant to observe the change that is happening because of one thing changing, right? So we have asked you to give your own names and a few very nice answers that I have got. I will just share with you. Why I'm not able to move this screen. Yeah. So yes, one child, I think Hitashi, she has told self-reliable variable, and constantly variable. Another child, Tanishi, responded changed variable, affected variable, and constant variable. This is really makes sense. Something that is changed, something gets affected, and other which is constant, kept constant. Correct? So yes, Samruth Chamarthi from Oak Ridge International has answered changeables, something which is changeables, unchangeables, and constantinables. Okay, so he's coined a new terminology, which is nice. So like this, I got some very nice responses. Others, some I think did not understand the meaning. They have actually given examples. Okay, so basically what one more child, Madhura, has responded from Vidyashil: variants, affectants, and constantables, right? Or is it something else? 1 second. Constantables, yeah. So now we will see today what these are actually called in the scientific terms. Okay, how it has been named so that everyone in the world understands it. Of course, each one of us can give name now to the same item, maybe a person like your friend. Everyone will start calling with different name. We will not know what whom are we talking about. So there is one name that the parents have given, like my name Deepa. So everyone knows me as Deepa. If at all my father would call me as Disha, and my mother would call me Deepa, and my grandparents would call me something else, then no one would know that it is being referred to me, right? So same way, these variables, the 3 types of variables have been given one particular name, which is useful to refer to when we talk about it in common terms, right? Next part of the assignment was think of all that can be changed in the following and write the list of variables in the space provided. So for a chair, what all can be changed for a chair? I have got some very nice answers. I will just share a couple of them. Yes, the height of the chair can change. Then the weight of the chair can change, maybe because of the material that is used. Correct? Then the width of the chair. Yes, some people, some chair may be slim for very thin people, and some chair may be really big for a very fat person to sit on. Then quality of the material. Yes, quality of the material, even the type of the material could change, right? The type of the material, it could be wood, plastic, metal. That also I have seen answers below. The size, the material, the thickness of the chair, someone said. Thickness, yes, maybe the cushion of the chair could be different. Then the quality of the chair, yes, quality of the chair could also change. That's a variable uh, based on, again, the quality of the material that has been used, whether it is foldable or not, whether it has wheels or not. So the price, the cost of the chair, that could be the variable. So many different answers have come, uh, which is really nice. The shape of the chair also, the color of the chair, then functionality of the chair is one answer that I've got. Yes, functionality could be different, uh, because some may be a rocking chair, some may be a straight erect chair, uh, some may be a rotating chair, correct? So many, even the paintings on the chair is what someone has written. Design of the chair, yes. So beautiful responses for what all things can change in an object, a simple object, daily usable object like chair, correct? Any other inputs you have? Yes, good morning, all of you who have written good morning. Yes, cotton that is stuffed inside. Brand of the chair, very good. Yes, three of you all have said the brand of the chair also could be different. Yes, some of them have a very well-known brand, some are not. Type of the chair, okay. So many factors are there which are the variables, correct? And then something, no one mentioned though about the number of legs on the chair. So imagine if at all, instead of 4 legs, if there were only 2 legs for the chair or 1 leg, how would it be? Would it balance? Not. So many things could be different for one object, correct? Now we look at the next one, that is the t-shirt. Yes. Okay, you did mention, is it, Snigdha? Maybe I missed it. That there is form of the legs. Okay, fabric of the chair. Yes. In a rotating chair, there are 5 legs, 5 parts to that, right? Yeah, correct. So now coming to the t-shirt. Material of the t-shirt is what Anugriha Prada is telling. Yes. So t-shirt also, I have got a lot of responses already. I will also be reading that out along with what you are typing on the chat box. Yes, texture, brand, color. Okay, very good. So here I have color, length of the t-shirt, size of the t-shirt, yes, width of the t-shirt, then designs on the t-shirt, the softness, the texture, that's what you mean, right? How it feels when you touch, the roughness or the softness. Then type of the t-shirt, what could be the type of the t-shirt? Is it a collared t-shirt, or is it a round neck t-shirt, or a v-neck t-shirt? Is it single cut, right? Sometimes the cloth is not having too many cuts and stitches. It's like just one cut and it's in the shape of a t-shirt. So stretchiness, yes, very good. Necks, yes, we talked about that. Patterns, full sleeve, half sleeve, yes, very good, Riyansh. So, and crop top also, as Raksha has said. So the length of the t-shirt, but here the sleeve length, right? It could be different. It could be a thick cloth or a thin cloth. It could be a knitted one, right? So lots and lots of variations are possible, right? Yes. So responses that I got even in the assignment submission are very similar. The logo could be different. People wearing different different people wearing something is being written. 1 second. Yeah. Somehow I'm not. Yeah, wearing the same t-shirt. How is that a variable? Okay, the person wearing the t-shirt is what you're telling. Okay, okay. Yes. So that's about the t-shirt. A simple item like t-shirt could have so many things that could be changed in it. And it would have a different effect on the person wearing it, right? Someone may be feeling hot or cold wearing the t-shirt based on some parameter. Or someone may feel more looking more nice, feel more confident about presenting something on the stage, wearing a very attractive t-shirt versus wearing an old t-shirt, torn t-shirt. Yes, that's also possible. Someone's dress may be torn. Yes, Sanvi, you're asking for the materials for the activity. Shivani, can you please type what are the materials needed for today's activity?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. The next, we will look at the next part of this activity, that was a story. Okay. So, sorry, I think my page turned to something else. 1 second. Sorry about the pause. Yeah, I'll be sharing my screen again. The third part of the assignment was the story. Now, those who haven't responded to the assignment, or if you want, you can keep entering in the chat as I am going to read from what I got in the submission. Okay. Yes. The characters of the story, the end line of the story, is it, or deadline of the story? What did you want to tell? Okay. Theme of the story, yes. The name of the story could be different. The moral of the story could be different. Title, okay. Writer of the story will be different, yes. Depends on which books we are seeing. Type of the page, the illustrations, yes, very nice. So many possibilities, but with story, the characters, the author, the story's idea also will be different. Yes. The tense of the story, yeah, it could be something which is like someone may have written it as if it's happening now, or they could have written as if it's in the past, or it could be something of the future. Then, okay, duration of the story, yeah, it could be a very long story or a short one. The settings, the character, the plot, yes. So lots and lots of changes possible here too. What do you mean by the base, Krishna? The genre, yes. Font of the story, number of pages, language of the story, very nice, yes. Language also could be different. It could be a Kannada story or an English story or a Hindi story. Setting of the story. What else? Yes. Okay, you meant the number of pages. Okay, the type. Okay. Yeah. So this was the second part of the assignment. Now let us move on to the third part, where when you change the variable, one of the variable from the above, whatever you came up, if you change one thing, what other thing would get affected? Imagine you changing one thing and what is the effect. You could have drawn pictures, but that was not possible through in the Google form. So in words, if you could just explain the effect of changing one of the variable for a chair and what would it affect the other part. Okay, so let us see what answers. You can type in the chat box as you think about it even now, for those who haven't responded. So one child says would change the color of the chair and the effect on how it looks. So the look of the chair would be affected. Fine. Changing pattern, and old patterns get ruined. I don't understand that. Okay. So one more person has said the following changes you would do. That is make. Okay. So one child says that probably didn't understand the question very well. I can see that. So fine. We'll move to. So if the quality of the wood is good, then the chair is strong. Yes. So it could be the strength of the chair and quality of the wood. So these two parameters. So when the quality is better, the strength is more. So two parameters here you have to tell, not just one. Yes. So changing the brand and that changes the cost. Yes, very true. Then quality of chair can change the comfort also. The material can change the comfort. Yes. So all those who are writing only one parameter, I want actually two variables, basically two things. One which is being changed to make an effect on another. Okay. Yes. Short or tall, what will it affect? If the chair is short or it is tall, what would be it affect? The cost of the chair changes, then the chair changed luxury. Okay. Slim chair cannot adjust a fat person. Fine. Changing quality results in warranty. Fine. What else? If we change the shape of the chair, then what will happen? If we change the shape of the chair, how will it make any difference on another object? Another parameter of that. It would be weak. Okay, legs of the chair and balance. Yes, correct. Adding wheels can make it stable, is it? Okay. So stability of the chair and the number of wheels on the chair or number of legs on the chair also could be said. Yes. Okay, moving on to the t-shirts. What would you change to that will affect another parameter or another variable of that t-shirt? Yes. So if you change the fabric of the t-shirt, like from cotton, if you change it to silk, it will affect the texture of the t-shirt. Very nice. This answer is exactly what we wanted you to tell. So one thing changed, the material of the t-shirt or the fabric of the t-shirt, and it changed the how you feel when you touch it. Correct. So when I turn a t-shirt sleeveless, okay, then sleeves will be wasted. Okay, that I don't see. Okay, the amount of cloth usage. If the t-shirt is full sleeve versus half sleeve or sleeveless, then the amount of cloth that is used to make the t-shirt probably will be the other factor that gets affected by the design of the t-shirt. Yes. Okay, changing the design makes it look attractive or not. Okay, size of the t-shirt and affects the fitness. Yes, so suppose if I need a medium size t-shirt, then if I go and pick a small size t-shirt, it will not fit me, or if it's a large, then it will be too big for me. Yes, so size, whether it fits or not. Okay, yeah. So next, let us move on to the last one, that is the story. So what could be changed and how would it affect another thing, another aspect of the story? Let's look at the answers provided. So it could be a fictional, science fiction, comedy, mystery, suspense, or horror. Yes, that could be the type of the story that it is. But what would it affect? Yes, what would it affect? Maybe that would make a difference in how the how many readers read it, right? So maybe there are more people who want to read mystery versus fictional, or comedy versus horror. I don't know, I'm just guessing. So the number of people reading the story could be different based on what type of the story is. Okay. Color of the character, I don't know how, and the character itself may change. Yes, yes, correct. So Red Riding Hood, instead of uh, being Red Riding Hood, it could be something else. Then instead of a wolf, it could have been a tiger or a lion. The characters could change. And how would that affect anything else? So story also could be changed, probably, right? End will affect the moral. Okay. Setting takes less or more time to go to place of the story. Okay. We change the story, the moral can be changed. Yes, correct. So something, I want two things. Okay. So those who are writing only one type, like plot would, okay, plot would change the ending. Yes, type would change the moral. Duration of the story, someone wrote, duration of the story will make a change in what parameter of the, or what variable of the story. So those things you need to think, right? So why are we going through this exercise? That's one question, right? Why do you think we went through this exercise? Is there any connection to what we are talking about? To make you creative, is it? Okay. To understand, what is that? Okay. To make you think more. Life skill. No, not life skill. Okay. So this is basically for you to see how one thing changing can make the other thing totally different. Same way, when we do our experiments also, by changing certain things, another, the effect of it is observed, and then changing different things, you can observe the effect on another, and that's how new innovations, that's one of the ways where new innovations possibility of happening is there. Okay, so now that we are done with this exercise, the assignment, going through it, let us move to some more parts that we wanted to discuss yesterday. Just one last slide, and then I will hand over to my colleague to do the next experiment. Okay, so I had told you that I would tell you the name that is being given to the uh, to these different types of variables, right? So the different types of variables, there is something that is being changed. Okay, something that is changed is called an independent variable whose value is changed during an experiment. Whereas which gets affected by this change is called dependent variable. So the independent variable, which on changing it, the dependent variable also gets changed, is the two two variables that we talked about. And the third one, yes, one second. And the third type of variable, which is kept constant, intentionally kept constant, so that we are able to check the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable, that is called controlled variable. So we are controlling, making sure something else is not changed. It is kept constant at the time we are checking the effect of one variable on the other. So that is called controlled variable, which is kept constant. Usually labs are required for this purpose only, where like all the other parameters. Like now let us go to our example where we had yesterday. What we did was digestion of the protein carbohydrates, which was that
Starch.
starch. Okay.
Starch.
Yeah. So for starch, let me just see what all are the variables that you can identify, what all could possibly change. So in the starch digestion experiment, yes, probably if you can unmute Snigdha, yes, you can tell what could change.
Ma'am, the color of iodine, because ma'am, in both samples the color of iodine changed. In one it was very dark, and in the other, due to that saliva in the
Color of iodine
sample, it became light in color.
It's not color of iodine, but the color of the food sample, right? Based on what you added and all. So what else you could have changed in the experiment? Yes, Adhira? You want to talk?
The food can change, ma'am. The food.
The food itself could change. Yes.
Food
Sample itself
Yes, ma'am.
could be different. Like you could have used rice. What else you could have used? We talked about it, right? Yes. Yes, Sanvi, you want to answer?
Ma'am, I want to say that because we put saliva into one of the test tube,
Yes.
ma'am, the saliva is an independent variable, putting saliva, and then the color of the food sample while putting iodine is the dependent variable.
Okay, so can I tell saliva quantity
Yes.
could affect the color?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Raksha, you want to go ahead next?
Ma'am, the quantity of iodine.
Okay, quantity of iodine.
It might change the color of the food that we are trying to.
Okay, Ashwika, you want to tell? Okay, Raksha, did you finish?
And also the quantity of the food sample. Ma'am. That's it.
Okay, quantity of iodine and food sample. Okay. Yes, Ashwika?
Ma'am, the color of the samples after digestion.
Okay, that is already okay. Of the food sample before and after. Can we write like that?
Yes.
Before and after. Yeah. What else could change? Anyone else? Snigdha, you want to tell something or?
Ma'am, actually, ma'am, I think the person, like, ma'am, if there are two people, the first person added his saliva, then ma'am, and then ma'am, some other person has added his saliva, like two different persons, they have added each other, like different salivas, like his saliva and Like the person is different who has added the saliva.
Different person's saliva is what you're telling. Okay. So what about food sample itself? So instead of rice, we could have used bread, roti, potato. Would it affect the color change or not? We don't know. What else? Could it be the temperature of the food? Yes, yes, Aditya.
Yes, ma'am. Like you said, the temperature. I was also going to say that only. Like
Okay.
it depends.
I read
The
your mind.
temperature.
Yes.
The temperature. Also the time. Like how much time will it take?
Time taken. Very good. Yeah. Time taken for color change, is it? Or for digestion?
Yes.
So many factors. Even if you think a little more, maybe some more will come up. Now, I will hand over to my colleague Shivani, who would probably demonstrate some of the changes that she has tried and what is the effect. So here we just identified the variables. Now, which of these could be independent variable and which could be dependent on the other? So here, when we talked about the saliva quantity or the quantity of iodine and food sample taken, what would it probably affect? Maybe the color, as also the time taken for the color change to happen. So these are the some of the dependent independent variables. Now let me ask Shivani to demonstrate some of the effects that she has observed in the digestion starch experiment. Over to you, Shivani.
Yes. So hello everyone. My name is Shivani, and let me revise what you did yesterday. Okay. So yesterday's experiment was to do the starch test. Okay. So you did a starch test. You took a food sample. So you took the food sample as rice. Okay. So cooked rice and the solution of cooked rice, and then you added iodine. Okay. So iodine is added, it is just an indicator. Okay. So the quantity of iodine, if you increase or decrease, will not affect the solution. It is just an indicator. When it turns blue, so it shows that there is a presence of starch. Okay. And then you added your saliva and then kept it aside for some time. Okay. So that's what you people did. Let's just give me a minute. Yeah. So that's what you did, and you kept it aside until the blue color disappears and it becomes transparent. Okay, transparent or a clear solution. So that was your experiment. So the turning of the blue to a clear solution indicated that the food sample is being digested, that is the starch is being digested. Okay, so what does it mean that the starch is digested? It looks complicated, right? So the word digested means it has been broken down. Okay, so the starch is being broken down into simple sugars. Now in today's experiment, we'll be performing the same, but we'll try out some variations. Okay, so this time we'll try out some variation, and we'll try understanding those variation and try to connect it with real life. Where do we see? How is it applied in real life? Okay, so I just noted down some of your uh, dependent and independent statements. So before that, let me show you what and all I have. So I have, this is the rice, that is what you did yesterday, the same thing, rice solution. And I have the chickpea solution. Okay. So chickpea is nothing but the basin, that is that your mom makes pakoda with. So that flour. And I have wheat powder. Okay. So this is the solution of wheat powder, that is atta, also call it atta. And then ragi. Okay, so this is the ragi solution. Apart from that, this time I'll not use saliva, but instead I'll be using amylase. Okay, so amylase is present in our saliva, which helps in the digestion of our food. Okay, and then I have iodine and two beakers, one having hot hot water and one having cold water. Okay. So let's first do a variation where I'm keeping the sample, that is I'm taking first the rice solution for the first variation. And what this time I'll do is I'll try to vary the amylase quantity. Okay. So let me take a stand first. Oh, I'll just keep a stand and then. So I'll take 3 beakers and in each of them I'll add 2 ml of rice solution. I'll just add and then show you. Okay. So I've added in each of these test tubes 2 ml of rice solution, that is cooked rice solution, okay, which you made yesterday. You would have understood by now how to make the solution. Okay, so I'm keeping the amount of rice solution constant here. Okay, and now let me add indicator. I'll add 2 drops of the indicator, iodine indicator. I'll add 2 drops in each. And just shake. See, it has turned blue. So this indicates that there is a presence of starch. Okay. Okay. So this shows there is a presence of starch. Now, the amount of indicator that I added, if you would have noted, that is also constant. That is 2 drops. Okay. Now what I'll do is, in the first test tube, I'll not add anything. Okay. In the second, I'll add 5 drops of amylase. You can test it out with your saliva. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. In the third one, I'll add 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll give it a good mix. Okay. So what am I varying here? The amount of amylase. Okay. Yes. So here the independent variable is amylase. Now, what do you think will happen here? The only thing that you would observe is how fast the solution gets clear. Okay. So let's keep this aside for some time and then we'll see what happens. Which one turns clear? Okay. Which one first, which test tube turns clear first? So let me say this is the one which is not having any amylase. This is having 5 drops of amylase. This is having 10 drops of amylase. Okay. I'm keeping this aside. We'll move to the second variation. We'll just wait for 1 minute and see. Okay.
Will they be predicting Shivani?
Oh yeah. So which one do you think will? Yes. So which test tube you think will turn clear first?
Aditya wants to say. Yes, Aditya?
Ma'am,
Test tube.
the test tube with the like the most amount of amylase will turn this transparent first, because the more the amylase, the more faster the digestion will take place.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. That is good.
Yes,
That's good.
Shweta.
Okay, let's just keep this aside for 1 minute. Let's move on to the second. Okay, so now what I'll do this time, I'll just take the stand itself because I don't have any spare stand. I'll take 2 test tubes, the same thing. Okay, I'll add 2 ml of rice solution. Okay, I've added 2 ml each of rice solution, and I'll add 2 drops of indicator, that is iodine. Okay, I'll give it a good mix. Okay, and now what I'll do is, in both these test tubes, I'll add 5 drops of amylase in both of them. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Yes. And this time I'll change the medium. I'll keep it in a hot water bath. If you can see, this is the hot water, which has become lukewarm now. Okay. So I'm just keeping it in a warmer environment. And let's see what happens. And the other one, I'll add 5 drops of amylase. Okay. And keep it in a colder environment. Water. Okay, let's keep this aside for some time. So this was your second experiment. Okay, so what we did in the second one, we kept the amount of starch water, that is your rice solution, constant, 2 ml. Okay, and 2 drops of iodine, and then 5 drops of amylase. And then what you changed is the environment. Okay, so you change the environment, that is the temperature, and let's notice what happens. So what do you think, which one will digest faster, the one in the cold environment or the one in the hotter? You can put your answer in the chat box also. Hotter one. Okay. Okay, yes, so let's keep
Question is
this.
very important. You can take a guess. There is no harm in that. Don't worry about the answer.
Yeah.
You have to give a try. Nobody is going to send you out of Zoom now if you give a wrong answer. So just be, happy and be confident in giving whatever comes on your mind. Don't always think that you should be right and the answer should be right.
Yes.
Many of us make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes.
Now the final variation, what I'll do is I'll change the sample itself. So the first one I did with rice solution, right? Now I'll test with all these 4 and let me see which one is having starch. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. So I've taken 4 test tubes. I'll also include rice solution this time, okay? I'll say you later why I used again the rice solution. So 2 ml of rice solution. The first test tube. Just wash off my dropper. And the second one is chickpea, okay, the basin. I'm using the basin. Okay, I added that. The third is the wheat, atta. So that solution. Two ml. This is ragi, okay, ragi solution. Okay. So this is rice solution. This is the rice solution. This is the chickpea. This is the wheat flour, and this is ragi. Okay. Now I'll add indicator. 2 drops each. So as expected, the rice solution is turned blue. What happened to chickpea? Nothing happened. It's clear, right? So it means that this does not have starch in it, okay? This is the wheat. See, it has turned blue. So it means even wheat is having starch in it. What about ragi? Any guesses? Does it have starch? No? Arav is saying no. Okay. Interesting. I think this needs more iodine. It's not clear. It does have iodine in it. I mean, sorry, starch in it. Okay. So the ragi has starch in it. So except the chickpea flour, all of them have turned blue. Okay. So now let's do an interesting test here. I'll add amylase in all of them. Okay. I'll add 5 drops in each. Okay, let me add this time 10 drops in each so that the reaction is faster. I'll remove the chickpea. It's of no use. This does not have charge. Okay. So this is the rice solution. Okay, I'll give it a good mix. So what do you expect? Which one will turn clear faster? What do you expect? This is the rice, this is the wheat, and this is ragi. Ragi, wheat, okay, wheat. So no one wants to vote for rice? Zero vote for rice. Okay. Okay. So I'll keep this aside and we'll take up the one. Okay. I think this needs more time. You can see the color difference. Okay, can't. I can see the one which is having the lesser volume is dark blue, but these two are turning pale. Like transparent, they are turning here. Okay, interesting. So can you see? So this is the hot water and this is the cold water. Okay, I'll just clear it. Can you see that? So your guess was correct. So the one which was kept in the hotter medium, it digested faster. Okay, so that's why in our system, when our stomach is at a higher temperature, it is at a 40 degrees centigrade. Okay, so when a food is getting digested, it digests at a higher temperature. Okay, and the proof is this. So let's talk about a little bit about digestion here until this thing gets clear. Okay. So what happens when you eat food? Okay, so as soon as you take in food, your saliva comes in, you start chewing. The more you chew, the more saliva is being secreted, and then it goes to your stomach, right? And then it goes to your stomach, and the main process of digestion starts there. Okay, and then it goes to our intestine, and over there, the sugar, the digested sugar is being taken up by our vessels and is being spread. It's been, the sugar goes through the vessels, and then from there the cell take up the sugar. Okay, so what happens if you intake, if your blood is having high amount of sugar? Okay, so when it is having a high amount of sugar, the body, it gives signal to your pancreas. Okay, so what pancreas does, it secretes something called as insulin. Okay, so what the work of insulin is, it'll go to your blood vessels, it will just combine to the particular enzyme, and it says like capture all to the cells, it says capture all the excess sugar. So immediately all the cells take up the extra sugar and it stores. Okay, so whenever you are running low of sugar, so those cells open up the extra sugar and is being transported to your necessary cells. Okay, so that is how the working of this takes place. Okay, so little update. Okay, this was your rice solution, this was wheat, this was ragi. Okay, okay, I hope you guys can see, because I can see it. Okay, let's do one thing to speed up the reaction. I'll keep it in a hotter medium. Okay, keep this juice in a hotter medium and see which one turns blue faster. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see because of my background. Okay. Yes. So let's wait for some time and just talk about the concept. Or shall we go to the making part of the next activity until this result comes?
Yes, I
Okay,
think
let's.
move on to
Ye-
the next activity. Make
Yes. Okay. That would be. Yes. We'll wait for the.
Probably here the time also can be monitored, right? When children are doing such activities,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
keep a timer and check how long. If it is in cold medium or hot
That I
medium.
want them to do that.
Yes,
They-
yes.
Let
that's
them
all.
find out how much time it takes for each of these digestion process. Okay. Okay. So I'll just share you the screen. So these are the materials required. You guys can collect in the meanwhile. Okay. So we'll be making roly-poly. Okay. So these are the materials required. You guys can arrange for that. I'll just give you 3 minutes time. Okay.
Shivani, somebody was asking if they don't have the wet sand, can they try with the suji, atta, suji? Maybe pour some,
Suji,
sprinkle some water
huh.
on that.
Yes,
Not
yes, yes,
they can try
yes.
it out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Might be
they
available
can.
at home.
Yes, they can. That is a great variation. Who asked that? Good one.
No, suji, I am saying they said they don't have sand.
Yes,
Instead
okay.
of that.
Yes, yes, they can. Okay. So I'll just show the texture of wet sand, how wet it should be.
Medans, I just told maybe you can try for the ask your mother or Suji in the kitchen.
Okay.
Do they have to keep their videos off, Shivani, for while making?
If they are comfortable, they can keep it on. It would be good if you all keep it on. Yes, I can see you people do perform. It'll encourage me also.
Is the suji or the rava with which you make upma, it is that. So you have to go and ask her suji. Aditya, you have something to say?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the plastic ball, I've got it, but the wet sand, you said that I could use a substitute. I couldn't hear what substitute.
You have the sand, is it?
No, I don't have sand actually.
Yeah, I was just telling, try out with, suji or rava, what we say, with which you make the upma.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, and that this table tennis ball would do, right?
Yeah, that should be 6 centimeter diameter is what they have shown in the picture. Should be fine.
It is about 4 centimeters.
It should be fine. Let Shivani come. She will answer that part.
Just give me 2 minutes even I'm arranging for the materials since my table is all over the place.
No problem. Raksha, you asked about maida. So maybe I think you should try it out and tell us tomorrow whether maida has starch or not. You can try out on various things. Is wet mud okay? Yes, Madhura. If you have that, you can try it out. You have to think why we are specifying these things. If we give out the reasons, then it is again our own thinking then. Yes, Shankar?
No, I'm asking that, ma'am, is it necessary to use a ball with 6 centimeter diameter?
Whatever you have, you
That
use it.
is,
We will see then it was necessary or not. Okay. Don't put too much water on the rava medans, just sprinkle some water and wet that so that it becomes little light in weight. When you pour water, what happens?
okay, so a little update on, I guess now you could see. I kept both of them in, okay, stop share. Okay. I kept both of them in hot water so that this reaction happens faster. So the one in which I added less amylase is still a little bit darker, and the one, this is the one which I added 10 drops of amylase. Okay, so the digestion is happening faster here. So that's the reason it is said for everyone or prescribed by doctors to chew your food well. Okay, so it gets digested well. So the more you chew, the more you are secreting the salivas, and it will be good for the digestion. Okay. Yes. Oh, little update. Okay, so at the bottom, that is the rice particles. Okay. So what you could see here is, see the one with the wheat and the ragi, it is still little blue, right? The one with the rice has almost digested. It is still digesting, but almost digested. So does this given, what do you think about this? What do you think? What is happening here? This has digested faster, right? Comparatively to the wheat and ragi. So that is why doctors say us to the patient who are diabetic to eat less rice. Okay. So when you're eating more rice, see how faster the digestion is. Okay. So what happens is the sugar, it gushes into the vessels of those diabetic patient. Okay, and they have a problem with the insulin secretion. Okay, so that is very dangerous to them. So that's why they say us for an alternative ingredient, that is either to use wheat or ragi. Okay, so this digests very slowly. This digestion process is slow over there, and little by little the sugar is secreted in the vessels. Okay, so these were the variations, and I hope you understood by this variation something. So let's move on to the making of roly-poly. Yeah. So all the materials are arranged. Just give a thumbs up or anything, any reaction. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just play the video. Yeah, so they are taking a ball and marking the center. And they are cutting it into two halves. Okay. Using a cutter. So if you are scared of handling cutters, you can take help of your elders. Okay. Cut it into two halves. Okay. So we'll do up to here.
Be careful while cutting that.
It doesn't have to be a perfect half. That's completely fine. Okay, just cut it into two halves. See, my cut is also not proper, so just it's okay. Okay, so shall I move on? So can I know who is making? Okay, so just put it in the chat box who and all are making it with me.
Even if you show it on the screen, it would be nice.
Okay. Yeah. Just one.
Ashwika is making, I can see. Apurv is showing. Thanks, Apurv. Hitaishi is also doing.
Okay.
Ridan. Janvi.
Yes, what's your doubt? Riyansh.
Raise your hand, then I'll unmute you, Riyansh. It's very urgent. Then.
Ma'am, actually, I had forgotten to lower my hand.
Yes, okay. So the starch is digested, but what is settled down is the that rice particles. Okay. So I hadn't filtered that properly. So the rice particles is there. Okay.
Ma'am, so those rice particles will also be eventually digested, right?
Yes, that will get digested. But these particles are bigger, right? So they have just settled.
They'll die. So they'll
Yeah.
die.
Yes.
You can go to the next step,
Okay.
Shivani.
Yes.
It's already 11:40.
Okay. Yeah. So now taking wet sand. Okay. So just I'll show you how wet that should be. I'm just making that wet. So it should be wet enough to stick at the bottom. Okay. You can see my wet enough to stick at the bottom. Okay. Don't add too much of it. Just 1/4 of this cup is enough. Okay. I've added that. And just close the lid back and tape it with insulating tape. Here. Then yes. Oh wow, Madhura is already done. That's great. She has already made the cone. Okay, so now we are taking that 15 by 10 sheet and making it make a cone. Okay. Just make a cone and then stick it such that this cone doesn't open. Yeah, make sure that you take it's bigger enough to come on the top. Okay. Just first tape it and then you can cut the extra part. Okay, make the cone. Now I'll cut the excess. This excess is there, right? And then place it over the ball and just that's all. That's your roly-poly. Okay, let's finish this part. I'm done with my roly-poly. Okay, just take a mobile. Okay. So this is your roly-poly toy. Now over to Deepa. So, yes. Hello, Deepa.
Yes. So,
Oh, wow. That's nice. Snigdha, and then anyone else?
all those who have made, do show your.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Artwork
Lovely.
sim. That's
Snigdha.
nice.
Who else is showing? Shashank. No, Shanka. Okay. Ashwika and Madhura, you have raised your hand. Do you have any question? Arav, yours is also ready. Others, you all have your videos off. Are you all not making? Okay. I can see some of you all are still working on it. Let's give one more minute before we get move on, and you can continue to work on it later also.
Very nice, Snigdha. Keep it on a flat surface. Don't hold the book in your hand. You will not be able to see that properly. It should be on a flat surface.
Advik's is falling off, is it?
You are trying to show it to us.
It's balancing it in a slant manner.
Okay, so that means you have not like wet enough. The sand is not wet enough. Okay, is that sticking to the base? Advik?
Yes, ma'am.
Raksha. That's okay. Okay. So did you fill only 1/4 of the half of the ball,
Yes, ma'am.
or did you add like half of it?
No, ma'am. 1/4.
Okay.
Very nice, Adira. Just show us how is it moving around. Can you place it on the table and focus the camera on that?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's nice.
Do we have time?
Very nice, Adhira. Yeah. Beautiful. All of you, you can play with it as long as you want. But let us look at as we are coming to the end of today's session, let us look at what is the assignment to be done today. It's a very simple one. Let me quickly share. So this also, the link will be sent to you. Probably I can. Lakshmi, can you please copy paste the link for today's assignment?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. So hope you can see my screen. So in the second assignment for this camp, you will be required to, of course, you have to fill your name, email, and school address. This is for us to know from where you are answering. So the first question is to identify all the variables in that activity, roly-poly toy. So you made your toy, just identify what all can be changed, what all are independent variables. So what can be changed, and then that change affects what other variable. So what all are the things that are there? Okay. So it could be just for an example, the wet sand that you put. Could you put something else there? Could you increase or decrease the quantity? Could you change size? and what effect does it have. So like that, you come up with one independent variable or multiple independent variables. In the first part, you're writing all the independent variables that you can think of and all the dependent variables that you think this is dependent on something else. Maybe the amount of time that it rolls is dependent on something else. I'm just giving an example so that you can get thinking along this line. That's the first part. And second part, select any two independent variables and predict how the dependent variable would change as you change the independent variable. So change only one independent variable at a time, and how does it affect the other one? That you will explain over here in the second part. In the first part of the assignment, you're going to identify all the variables which are independent, which are not dependent on anything else. They can just be changed. Maybe the size of the ball. So like that, you can just change it without like that is independent. The changing of that is independent, but that changing can affect some other thing. So those things you will identify and put it in the dependent variables column. And then you exactly tell, if I change this particular thing, then this is what I observe, or this is what I think will happen. If you can do it, very good. If you can make the activity with a different setup, a different variable, like now we made one. If you can make one more with a change and like with a change in one of the parameters, one of the variables, and see what it made a difference in what other thing. And you can write that here. So any two independent variables and predict how the dependent variable would change as you change this independent variable. So at a time, only one thing you will change and observe its effect on another. Such you can do two and mention. If you can do two, otherwise even one is good. Yes, I think there are some children who have questions. Shankha Shubhra Naskar. What is your question?
Ma'am, can I color it?
Yeah, you can color it. Okay. Next, Advik, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, earlier I used a thick paper, hard paper. So that's why it was going in a slanting position and stabilizing it that only. But now that I've used a light paper, so now it's holding still. So,
So here already you have done one of the change, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The thickness of the paper, you made a change and you observed its change in the position. So that itself is an example that can be mentioned. So try something else also now, maybe some other parameter you change and see its effect, and you finish your assignment. You can do actually as many as you want, as many variables you can change and observe its effect. It's a beautiful toy. Instead of buying a toy from the shop, you can as well make your own and play with it, isn't it? Yeah. Advik, you have still something else to tell?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you can lower your hand. Anyone else has any questions regarding what we did today, what we discussed, and also what is the assignment to be done? Apurva is asking, how is mine?
Apurva.
Yeah, sure. I will just stop the share so I can see. Apurva.
Spotlighted in this.
Very nice, very nice. You can remove my spotlight maybe for a second. Yes, can you just move your camera a little down? Yes. So yours is not pointed at the top, isn't it? Oh, okay, you have done it like that. Nice. So now you try some variation. You could change something, maybe the size, the quantity, the length. There's so many things, right? Just think along and see what you can change and how will it affect the other thing. Okay? Yeah. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. If you have any question, yes, Madhura has a doubt. Can you unmute and ask? Where is Madhura?
Yeah, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So, ma'am, unless and until I make the sand come to the middle, it's not standing properly. So when I just shake it so that it comes to the middle, it stands. Till then, it's just standing like this.
Okay, the sand has to be positioned in the center is what you're telling. So if you just lift it up, lift your roly-poly up and then place it, will it be in the center?
No, is it the wet sand or dry?
No, ma'am, it's wet.
Wet.
It should be wet enough to stick at the bottom. Make
Both
sure.
are going.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes. Any other questions? Is the assignment clear to you? I hope to see a lot more submissions tomorrow. Okay.
I have pasted the link here also and in the WhatsApp group also. Both
Yeah.
places.
Okay. Okay, then I think we can end the session. Shiva. Okay. See you children tomorrow. Bye. I think they want to talk.
See you all tomorrow.
Listen, Rakib is telling, listen. Where is Rakib? Do you want to speak?
Rakib.
Yes, Rakib. I have unmuted you. You can speak.
Ma'am, which WhatsApp group?
WhatsApp group.
Intermediate WhatsApp group is created and the link to join that is on the website itself.
On the website, you can check it out. Okay. Yeah.
Deepa, Lakshmi, I'll end the session.
Yes.
No, I think there are a couple more hands raised. Ridan, do you want to ask something?